issues pop up in other parts of the country that are also having these shale drilling booms, like North Dakota and Pennsylvania. But I was kind of curious to hear from the panel about what you think of this influx of people. I mean, obviously, it's great to be a magnet for jobs and to have people moving here. But what kind of impact has that had on your schools, your hospitals, your public safety? What kind of impact has that had on the culture of West Texas?
Well, I think the very evident thing that we see every day in the news is the high amount of traffic accidents that are happening. People just aren't prepared for all the traffic that's on the roads right now. And quite frankly, as Kirk alluded to, the infrastructure here, a lot of these roads weren't meant for the amount of traffic that's on them right now. So obviously there's been a big effort from our state Senator Cal Seliger, Tryon Lewis, our representative here, and Tom Craddock, to try to get those issues worked out with some monies. But like Kirk said, we don't have as many boats out here in West Texas as they do in the metro area. So it's just an uphill battle. As far as teachers, I know that right now I think the Midland Independent School District we've got 2 weeks before school starts, and I think they have about 100 openings for teachers still. It's hard to get teachers in here because of the lack of housing. And what the Scarborough Foundation did was very generous, just basically setting aside money to help people. I know the Midland Reporter Telegram last year, they told me they had some reporters that were going to come in here that they were going to hire, but again, at the kind of rate they're going to get paid at the newspaper, they had to leave because there was just no place to live. The Midland Hospital, you mentioned the Odessa Hospital. The Midland Hospital has turned their west campus that's out on Andrews Highway in West Midland. They're converting the rooms there that they don't need. Now that they've got the new addition downtown, and they're going to be housing their own staff, nurses. I think they're going to open that up to some teachers if there's room, but to those groups mainly.
So are there any really viable, affordable housing is something that a lot of cities struggle with, and Midland and Odessa have to struggle with it very quickly, it seems like in this drilling cycle. But we have discussions about this in Austin. I don't know that we're dealing with it on the same scale that you are here. But are there any kind of viable solutions, or kind of what you're seeing, is it more piecemeal? You kind of talked about what this foundation is doing and what's happening at this hospital. But is there any kind of overarching strategy to deal with this affordable housing issue?
Well, one thing's happening in Pecos and Monahans here in Odessa, we're stopping these man camps that came in. There are people that can come in and put in places for the oilfield workers to live, because they don't know how long it's going to be there either. They don't want to pay for them to get an apartment. But again, the problem is the apartments are usually owned by a private person, and they're seeing these rates go up, like Libby said, and they're just jacking them as quick as they can right now to do whatever they can to make the most money when they can. So it's a bad situation. There is no good answer for it because there's no price controls here in Texas for things like that. So the entrepreneur's been working as far as building out a lot of this. I think everybody here has seen so many trailer houses, and it just sprung up in every vacant lot that we've seen here in Midland County and all the way down the interstates for people coming in. So it's an interesting problem we have. And just like Oxy was saying, a DPS guy, my assistant was married to one, and again, he's young, he can drug test, and he doesn't have to get shot at. And they're still, the policeman, the sheriff, DPS, everybody that is somebody worth hiring, they'll pay them twice what they can, and they've got a great pension and everything else like that for right now. So there's a lot of moving going on right now in these communities.
And the DPS can't afford to pay more.
No.
So